It's time for NFL video by my daddy, Professor MJ.
This video will unveil my NFL picks for the wild card round. I'm Professor MJ. I'm a university statistics teacher with a French accent since I live in Quebec City, Canada. Welcome to the best sports betting show on YouTube. We stumbled down the finish line by losing the last 6 NFL picks over the past 2 weeks. Still, we concluded the 2021 NFL regular season with a positive record via 31 wins, 26 losses, and 1 tie. If you are betting at minus 105 odds or 1.95 in decimal, by risking $105 to win 100, you earned a total profit of $370 during the season. Considering you would have wagered a total of $6,090 by tailing all of those plays, your return on investment would have been plus 6.1%. Despite what the haters say, that's a nice job nonetheless. Before we get into the picks, here are some super interesting facts. Number 1. Since 2017, the underdogs in the first round of the NFL playoffs hold an impressive 15-3 record ATS. Number 2. Since 2012, quarterbacks in the wildcard round making their first playoff start are 11-31 straight up. Okay, it's time to unveil my first 3 picks for the NFL wildcard round. The remaining 3 betting tips will come in a different video later this week. Enjoy the video, my friend! Wild card game number 1 involves the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Bengals set as 5.5-point favorites. Both QBs are making their postseason debut, but Derek Carr has a lot more experience in the league. However, Carr has not done well in cold weather. Indeed, he has an 0-5 record in games below 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Granted, 4 of those 5 matchups ended by a 7-point margin or less. But he tossed just 4 TD passes versus 5 interceptions in those games. The Bengals have lost their last 7 playoff games. Both teams are pretty unfamiliar with postseason play, so I expect many players to be nervous, which may lead to more field goals and a lower scoring game. In that case, it is often best to side with the underdog, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. Vegas has done well as road underdogs, as shown by their 6-2 record ATS under such conditions. One trend does not favor the Raiders though. The Bengals beat the spread in each of the past 5 meetings between these 2 clubs. Traveling across the country is not a good thing for Vegas, but they have the revenge factor going their way. As a matter of fact, the Raiders lost 32-13 against Cincy back in Week 11. The game was more tight than the final score indicates, since the Bengals were up 16-13 with 6 minutes left in the game. I don't have numbers to back the following betting theory, but here is something that I have noticed over the years across many sports. It seems to me like teams who came super close from getting eliminated tend to do well in the following game. In this case, the Raiders won their final 4 meetings, including a nail-biter against the Chargers last Sunday, to get into the playoff dance. I expect them to keep the momentum going this Saturday. Joe Burrow sat out the Week 18 game due to a knee injury. How good will he feel? He has been sacked 51 times this season, and the Raiders can certainly rush the passer. For all of those reasons, I am taking Las Vegas to beat the spread. They might end up on the losing end, but I expect a tight game between two inexperienced teams. So, my final pick goes to the Raiders plus 5.5 points in Cincinnati. Wildcard game number 2, the New England Patriots are visiting the Buffalo Bills, the latter being established as 4-point favorites. I told you earlier about the awful performance of teams quarterbacked by a guy making his first NFL playoff start. That would suggest fading the Patriots. In this case, Mac Jones is not only playing his first postseason game, but he is also a rookie and he will be on the road in a tough environment. As you can suspect, my pick therefore goes to Buffalo. The Bills will be at home for a third straight week, so they should be better rested. In comparison, the Pats had to travel to Miami last week. Buffalo beat their AFC East rivals 33-21 in New England, after losing the first meeting 14-10 at home. In the latter game, Mac Jones attempted just 3 passes because the team had the lead and more importantly, because the wind was blowing hard. According to the latest reports, it should not be very windy Saturday night in Orchard Park. That's great news for Bills fans. Mac Jones will have to throw the ball this time, and his level of play dropped off towards the end of the regular season. Meanwhile, the Bills finished strong with 4 consecutive victories. I see them taking an early lead, forcing the Patriots out of their comfort zone and having to throw the ball more often than they would like to. Don't forget that the Bills allowed the fewest yards and the fewest points in the entire league this year. So, my pick goes to Buffalo laying 4 points at home against the Patriots. Wildcard game number 3 involves the Philadelphia Eagles playing at the Tampa Bay BUCS. The point spread favors Tampa by 8.5 points. The Eagles have posted a 10-1 record ATS over their last 11 playoff games as underdogs. However, that was with different quarterbacks under center. Jalen Hurts will make his postseason debut, and as mentioned previously, that's not good news for Philly. Let's forget the last game by the Eagles since they were resting many starters. Prior to that, they had won 6 of 7 games. While that seems spectacular, look at the quality of the opponents. The Broncos, the Saints, the Jets, the Giants twice, and Washington twice. The best team they have beaten all year was New Orleans, who finished with a 9-8 record. All other teams had a losing record. The matchup is also very bad for Philadelphia. On offense, they are much better equipped to run the ball, but that turns out to be Tampa's strength on defense. On the other side of the ball, the Eagles are pretty good defending the run, but the BUCS are more effective when throwing it. Granted, I have to admit that Tampa's passing offense is severely diminished after having lost wide receivers Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. That is a big source of concern to me. Still, my money goes on Tampa. They are 6-1 ATS as home favorites, while the Eagles were 2-5 ATS as road underdogs. My final pick goes to Tampa minus 8.5, but I do not believe I have enough confidence in this play to actually place a wager on it. That's it for part number 1 of my wildcard NFL picks. I'll be back later this week for the last 3 games of the upcoming weekend. I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get more great betting picks. A good example are my free NBA proposition bets that currently have an incredible 17-2 record over the past 19 picks on YouTube. So go ahead and join the other 19,000 subscribers to the Lone Sports Betting YouTube channel hosted by a guy owning a PhD in statistics. See you again soon, my friend.